Hey friends, welcome to today's video. Today is going to be the greatest day of your life. It's 8 p.m. You just got back home after a long day's work. You're too tired to sit down and do your hour exercise where you've written your primary goal at the top of a sheet of paper and then attempted to come up with 20 ways you can work over the next 24 hours in accomplishing your goal, like you've promised yourself you would do to get you closer to your dream, and you put it off till tomorrow and reckon one day missed won't make a big difference, right? So the next evening, it's your best friend's birthday party, and you don't get back home till after midnight. Another missed day. And soon there's one more, and yet one more. That one missed day has now become a series of multiple missed days, and now you can't muster the motivation to get back into doing it. Now, does this scenario sound familiar to you? It's happened to me several times. I get busy with Vandergraph business and put things off, and I've done it in the past, but I don't do it anymore. And here's why. Because it could very well be that putting off a promise to yourself seems inconsequential, right? It's not a big deal. But in the larger scheme of things, for every time you promise yourself to do something and you don't, no matter how small it seems, you're letting yourself down and sending a message to yourself that you're not worthy of even your own commitment. That doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but you know what? You're listening to yourself, and it is a big deal. How you treat yourself is a direct indication of how you probably allow others to treat you as well. So this is very important. You know, I've been there, I've done that. I try not to do it anymore, but you know what? I still do it sometimes. And what I mean by that is let myself down. You know, I renege on my own promises to myself. I'm learning to be better, but I still find myself reverting to some old patterns sometimes. And I've been at this for years and years and years. So trust me when I say that I know how it feels. Like constantly letting yourself down is not a good idea. You want to make yourself feel like you're valuable enough. Okay? So I want to talk about a few ideas that I believe are important. And they're a great place to start keeping promises to yourself. A lot of people ask me, you know, where do we begin? And I always got a few suggestions for smaller scale, achievable promises that you can make to yourself so that you can get back into the habit of keeping your promises and learning to trust yourself again. Now, I want to preface this with I promise to, okay? And how about we start with the first one? I promise to wake up when I say I will. You know, and if you've ever read a book or an article on personal growth, chances are that almost all of them would have talked about the many benefits of waking up early in the morning. You know, in our house, we're up at 5 a.m. every morning, every single day. It's like an internal clock that's been set. We get so much done before noon. Sometimes the afternoons are a little bit boring, right? And folks are not wrong. I really do believe that waking up in the morning and establishing a mindful morning routine can do wonders. And we've talked about some activities to accomplish in the morning. First and foremost, we sit down with a blank piece of paper, write our primary goal at the top, and come up with 20 ways we identify that we can work towards accomplishing our goal in the next 24 hours. You know, but not everyone is a morning person, right? I totally get that. So instead of beating yourself up for not being able to create a habit of waking up early every morning, how about you flip the script and instead focus on waking up when you say you will? This will allow you to build your routine around a wake-up time that feels more natural to you instead of trying to match a certain adulting expectation, right? It's easy to say, hey, you got to come exercise in the morning and do all these things, and we put so much information into our mind it confuses it, right? And it's like, wait, you want me to wake up at 5, but then at 5:05 I need to be on the treadmill, and at 5:30 I need to be eating this new diet that includes whole grains and, you know, and fancy milk and special spring water and take all these supplements. It can get confusing. So I'm going to recommend just start out simple. Set your alarm for 5 a.m. and when that alarm goes off, 5 a.m. or whatever time comes natural to you and is appropriate for your schedule. But friends, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, those are all fantastic times to get up, as long as you have the ability to go to bed early the night before. Make sure you get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Sleep is super important to not only your supercomputer, but to the health of your body. But start simple. Just set a time that you're going to wake up that's earlier than you've normally woken up, and that will give you enough time to accomplish some ideal activities and wake up at that time. When the alarm goes off, don't hit the snooze. Set the alarm clock across the room so you can't reach it. And then when it goes off, you're going to have to get up to go turn it off. Turn it on full blast. But just get up and do that for a couple of weeks, okay? Maybe just the next 7 days. But wake up when you say you will. You're keeping a promise to yourself, and you're now giving yourself an opportunity for some open space, some open time to fill with some quality activities that are going to make you better, make you feel better, and help you to work towards that beautiful life you're trying to build. Okay? So now, why does this promise even matter? Think of it as the first promise you're making to yourself in a day. Or how wonderful would it be to start off your day on a positive note? Even if it's something as small as waking up at a particular time, this one small positive act can supercharge your day and help you begin your day with a win already secured under your belt. Have I convinced you yet? I'm telling you what, it's one simple thing we can do. Just choose a wake-up time that works for you. That wake-up time can vary depending on your life and your goals, also on your schedule. Some people work overnight and they don't wake up in the morning, right? They wake up during the day because they worked all night. So whatever it may be for you, put yourself in control of your situation and take action. Okay, that's the most important thing. And then once you take action, don't quit, because you know what? We don't quit, ever. That is the number one determining factor between people who have and people who have not. People who have are not quitters. They come up against an obstacle, they keep moving forward. Hey, if you sleep in one day and miss the alarm, just pick up where you left off. Keep moving forward. Keep re-engaging. You can do it. I know you can. I believe in you. I think you are so amazing and so capable. I'm sure this one item is going to be easy for you. But just try it out for the next 7 days, okay? Let's move on to the next one. I promise myself that I will do one thing every day that nourishes my body, my mind, and or my soul, okay? And this isn't about losing whatever weight you might be trying to lose. This is about taking a more holistic, gentler approach to your overall health and wellness. If you're a chronic promise breaker, especially when it comes to health and fitness related resolutions, and most people are, and it's not okay, but a lot of people start off on the general exercise fad January 1st, and by the 15th, they're sitting on the couch eating Doritos, right? So I'll just encourage you to step back and try a slightly gentler approach with yourself so that you can be successful, okay? Pare down your efforts to the smallest act that you can do, and then make that your marker. Can you do just one squat today? Do one squat. It's a start. Can you drink just one more glass of water than usual? Drink an extra glass of water. It's a great way to start building a better health profile. Can you give thanks for just one good thing in your life? And we've been working on recognizing all the good things in our life and the greatness that's around us. And all of those things are there for you. Be thankful for those things you have in your life today. Can you just give thanks for one of them? Because if you just verbally give thanks for one good thing you have in your life, it's a start. And now you're moving towards better things. Hey, every great journey started with just one step, right? And, and then you've done something positive for your health. It is just that simple, especially if you're trying to learn to trust your own word again. So make small promises, keep those promises, especially when it impacts your health and the way that you recognize the world around you. It can make all the difference. You know, I'm not trying to suggest here, though, that 1 minute of exercise a day will be enough to make you perfectly healthy. Okay, now, you do 1 squat every day, you're not going to be a triathlete. You know, you're going to need to scale up, and you'll need to work at this consistently, physically, emotionally, and mentally, in order to achieve true overall great health. But you know what? I know you can do it. You know you can do it. And if you just start off with one little act, it eventually, consistency will yield more long-lasting results. And in the long run, you're going to be more motivated. You're going to be more motivated toward action. And you're proving to yourself, hey, I can do this. I told myself I was going to do this. I followed through. And then it's repetitive. You just build upon this win. And great things are going to come into your life as a result. It sounds like little things, and you might giggle and say, oh, Doug, that's just a little thing. Like I said, the greatest journeys all began with just one step. Do one little thing. And then the next day, do it again. And then the next day, do it again. After a week, do 2 squats, and then the next week do 3 squats. Do you know, if you look back at where you were 2 months ago, by now you'd be doing 8 squats a day. That's amazing. That's way more than 1. And imagine how that would benefit you. It increase your leg strength, boost your heart health. There's a lot of things that 8 squats do better for you than just 1. But you know what? You just every week increase things slowly, gradually. Try to do better for yourself in small increments. You know what? If you just put 1 drop of water at a time in a bucket, inevitably the bucket will get full. Okay? And I want you to fill yourself with goodness and wonderful things. So that's just one good idea of a promise we can keep to ourselves, right? I want you moving forward to do just one thing every day that nourishes you. And I gave you a few examples. I believe you can do it. Just give it a shot. You know, another thing that I'd like you to do is promise yourself that you'll seek more things that bring you joy. You know, I'm not advising you to buy all the things you ever wanted, to go out on Amazon and say, hey, all these things would bring me joy, and you buy them all. But rather, tune into those specific things that bring pride into your life and a true sense of happiness. That, you know, and it would seem that almost everyone has a prescription for how others should lead their lives and what should bring them happiness, right? I'm here every day talking and making suggestions on ways that I feel you could benefit. And you definitely, you know, I think a lot of things that, you know, in order to be happy, I remember the one thing I've always heard is, you need to get married before the age of 30, or you're so good at art, you should totally monetize it, or Doug, you should open this business or that business. You know, I'm not saying that they're wrong with the ideas they come up with, but I don't think other people can understand what makes me happy the way I understand what makes me happy. And I want you to choose joy and happiness on your own terms. I want to tell you that you have permission to live your own life on your terms, to do the things that make you happy, even if it's not what your parents or your twice removed great uncle or toxic ex-boyfriend or girlfriend think you should do. I want you to get off your ass, go out there and do some things that make you happy, that build you up as an individual, that bring a smile to your face. You got to live your life. You only get one bite at the apple, right? So you want to get out there and do some things that make you happy. You know, and the important thing here is that you truly listen to yourself. What are the things that make you really happy? What are those things? What do you want in your life? What makes you smile? The more you know yourself and the more intentional your choices are, the more happiness it's going to bring into your life. And you know what? Some days it can be as simple as reading a book. Other days it could be doing things like a flow yoga sequence before bed. Or it could even be buying, You know, that damn bag you've always wanted, you know, that designer bag, whatever it is, you know, get something that makes you happy and be good to yourself, you know. And when you promise yourself you're going to be good to yourself and you're going to do things that make you happy, follow through. You know, if going and seeing a movie at the movie theater makes you happy, set a date night with yourself. One night a week, go to a movie. Do things that make you happy. Spend more time with your family. Sit down and identify ways that you can personally make more money. Sit down and identify ways that you can work towards your individual goals. Read articles on how you might be able to benefit yourself in other ways. Put good information into your supercomputer so you can get more positive outcomes in the future. Do more things that bring you joy and do it on your terms, okay? And another thing that I talk about quite a bit that I think is very important, I promise to myself that I will start speaking more positively to myself. Now, we've talked about this in the last week, friends. You're listening to what's going on externally, and you're taking action, and you have emotional feelings based upon what your ears hear. I'm telling you, it is 100% no different when you're speaking to yourself. You put yourself down, you have the exact same emotional response, the exact same biological response internally to negative self-talk as you have to negative external talk. Okay? And it's really funny, you know, it's that inner voice, you know. You need to explore that inner voice more deeply. And among other things, you know, you need to make sure that when you're going through tough times or when challenges come up, that you don't get harsh with yourself, critical, you know, because that builds fear. What you need to do is talk yourself up. Be your best friend. Be the best you can to yourself. Tell yourself, hey, I can do this. I'm going to come up with a solution to resolve this problem. And then take the next 5 minutes and do nothing but try to find a solution to the problem. I guarantee you'll be really surprised that when you motivate your supercomputer in a positive fashion, it's no different than when somebody comes up to you, pats you on the back and says, I know you can do it. I know how good that feels when somebody else says, hey, you're great. You know what? It feels just as good biologically to your body and psychologically to your mind when you personally say those exact same things to yourself. You know, I mean, that internal voice can contribute quite a bit to the overall not so great state of affairs that are constantly building up in you. You know, and bit by bit, you can either build yourself up or break yourself down with your internal voice. Use your voice as your best friend, your most positive motivator. Let that internal voice build you up like a brick house in a windstorm. I tell you what, you can accomplish anything. You can do anything if you tell yourself you can. You tell yourself you can't, and guess what'll happen? You'll just get crappy results and you won't do it. You tell yourself you can do it, and you know what'll happen? You'll get it done 100% of the time, all the time. You know, you want to make sure that you're speaking positively to yourself. And while you're speaking positively to yourself, do it with kindness and encouragement, okay? It's one of the greatest gifts that you can ever give yourself, is just to be kind to yourself. And I think the more you go throughout your day today and tomorrow or over the course of the next week, be conscious of the conversation that's going on in here. I think many times you'll find, hey, I'm negative all the time, and you may not even realize it. Self-deprecation is kind of a mechanism that I use as a handicapped person to kind of throw off the handicap aspect of who I am, right? I'll make like little handicap jokes and stuff. Always people will say to me, Doug, you shouldn't be so negative about yourself. And if they only say that if they don't know me as an individual, it's my sense of humor. I like to joke around about issues and challenges I come up with. One thing they don't know is that internally, this voice is positive. This voice here is encouraging. I tell myself I can do it, and my results show that I can. And I just keep consistency in telling myself I can do it, building myself up. And you know what? It works, and it's amazing. Give it a shot, okay? One final thing I want to cover here. I promise to myself that I will reach out to others for help. Now, a lot of us are stubborn when it comes to admitting that we need help because it asks us to acknowledge our own vulnerability, right? And I'm the worst at this. I always want to get it done myself. I find that once I became a handicapped person, you have an ego that kicks in where, I'm not disabled, I can do it. And so I want to do everything myself, and it's like, people are like, Doug, you're not gonna do that because you physically can't. And I'm, oh no, I'm gonna do it. And I would try. And I tell you, but eventually you got to just understand that asking for help from other people is not a weakness. It's actually a strength. You're showing others that you know yourself, you know your own capability, you are dedicated to what needs to be accomplished, and you're willing to do whatever it takes, even ask others for help in order to get it done. And I think we've been taught, always stay strong, stay positive, but the truth is, like I'm saying, we do need extra help and extra push from someone else to hold ourselves accountable and become strong and, get the job done. And sometimes asking for help from others allows us to get it done even faster. And we build relationships when we work with others while we're trying to accomplish tasks. Asking others for help actually has so many benefits. You can build relationships. You can build friendships. Now that somebody's helped you, you have an opportunity to do good in the future because now you can help them and pay back the favor. And that's a great way to build a relationship and have good relations with others, helping each other, being good to other people. The one thing that it's just there's no shame in spelling out that you need help or support. Be it from your inner circle, maybe it might be your work colleagues or even outside professionals. It doesn't matter. Sometimes we ask others for mentorship, and that's okay too. And what you're doing to yourself is a massive favor, because working with others gives you so many opportunities to become more accountable with the promises you make to yourself. Because sometimes we make promises to ourselves to accomplish things that we need help for, So I think it's really, really good. I don't know what else you would add to this list, but I've found that these small, meaningful promises have been useful in my personal journey, and I hope they help you too. Keeping promises to yourself is a form of self-love and self-care. And the more you're able to do it, the more you will feel at peace with your inner self. The biggest learning for me personally has been to start small with doable promises and then gradually scale up. As you start growing in confidence, you'll do this more and more. Friends, go ahead and put in the comments if you have anything else that you do to help keep promises to yourself. I'm always eager to hear from you all. Hey, I just want you to know that, I know it's not always easy, but you can do it because you're amazing, you're intelligent, and you have incredible abilities and gifts within you that the world is waiting to see. I'm going to be back tomorrow, and we'll work on some other things. But until then, I hope you have a fantastic day. Hug your families and take care of yourself. I'll talk to you tomorrow.